Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott. I know it's been a little while since we last chatted, but I've been a little bit busy and I did go take a few days off up in the mountains to kind of rejuvenate and regenerate. I'm back at work doing some field work today out on a construction site doing a new home. My wife is with me and she's also does the same thing I do, and so we're out together, which is kind of nice. We like it. Back at the ranch, my garden I'm working on is starting to produce clover, which is what I planted. That's good. We're hoping to be ready for a fall garden. We have to test the soil to see what else is left to do there, and everything's just kind of cruising along, getting back off of the good life of taking a few days off and relaxing. So I wanted to talk today about a couple different things, but really, you know, we're coming to the end of this COVID Wuhan virus pandemic stuff, and you know, we've spent a lot of time being amped up about various things. And I wanted you to really take a moment and reflect back on some of that. A friend of mine, Pastor Joe Fox over at Viking Preparedness, had talked about this sort of thing and talked about being what he called a special ops prepper, and he laid out some criteria for that, which I'm not going to go into because that's his channel. If you want to see it, go over to his Patreon channel and watch it. But I wanted to piggyback a little bit because there are those of you out there that spend a whole lot of time being amped up about things. You know, people worry about the zombie apocalypse. Oh, the Chinese are going to attack tomorrow. There's going to be an EMP attack. We're all doomed. We're all going to die. And there's a lot of you out there that are, for lack of better words, you're adrenaline junkies. You live for that adrenaline rush that something bad is going to happen and you have to worry about that. So let me ask you a question. Now, we've been amped up over the past year with the pandemic. And how do you feel? Are you tired? Are you wore out from all this worrying you've been doing? And the reason why I say that is because if you use up all your energy, both your physical and your mental and your psychological energy, now, if something really bad does happen, well, then you're already wore out. And so I wanted to talk to you about how, you know, people that have to deal with this stuff on a daily basis, and then, you know, even people who don't, but who have figured out that there are other ways to go about this than to worry until you have ulcers and you're nervous and you got to take medications, you're on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, all this other stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is don't worry about that stuff. Okay? What I'm going to say is very important, and so I want you to understand it. Don't worry about that stuff. Specifically, don't worry about things you cannot control. You cannot control an EMP. You cannot control when it's going to happen or what's going to cause the EMP. You have no control over that, so don't worry about it. If the Chinese are going to attack and invade the United States, you have no control over that. Don't worry about it. If the zombie apocalypse happens and the Walking Dead are all up and down the streets, you have no control over that. Don't worry about it. Okay, Now, that being said, it does not mean that you stop whatever you're doing and lay down and play dead. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying stop prepping. What I am saying is take your mental and physical energies and put it to things you can control. In other words, I always mention 4 things in my videos. Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water? Can you maintain sanitary conditions? And can you defend your family? Okay, those are 4 simple things, and you can control those. Okay, you can store food, you can store water, you can store soap and towels and toilet paper and such, and you can learn how to defend your family however you feel you may need to do that. And everybody has their own levels, but those are things you can control, and those are things that you should be, well, we'll say, I hate to use the word worry, but those are what you should be concerned about. Worrying about those 4 things, those are 4 things you can control. And really, the reality is if you take care of the things you can control, okay, then more than likely you will be prepared for probably just about all of the things you can't control. However, by just worrying about the things you can control, you're under a lot less stress. You use up a lot less mental energy. You use a lot less physical energy. And so that when something bad happens, you're not starting out already tired. So that's an important concept, and I wanted to bring that to you. Only worry about the things you can control, and don't worry about the things you can't, because there's nothing you can do to change it. Just, don't do it. You'll be a better person. You'll feel better, and probably your family will like you better because you won't be so edgy. So everybody chill. All right? As a prepper, you should be seeking tranquility in your life. You should be seeking peace in your life. That's why you're prepping, to have peace. So why not have it now, as well as when you actually need your preparations? Seek tranquility. The other thing I want to talk about is it's a concept, it's something that people do, and it's called negative visualization. It's used in the military, it's used by smart people, it's used by a lot of businesses. And what that means is in a negative visualization, you consider all the bad things that can happen in your life. A relative dies, your dog dies, okay? And you visualize that, and you think about it, and then you think about what you can do for that, and then you think about the good things that have come of that. And I use a dog dying because almost everybody probably has or had at one time a pet of some sort. And when I say dog, it could be cat, parakeet, goldfish, chinchilla, whatever. But when they die, you're going to grieve them and you're going to be sad. But when you think about it ahead of time, I have a dog that's getting up in years, and so I know he's going to die, and I probably know how he's going to die, and then I think about what I'm going to do after he dies, and then I think about, it's a sad day that he died, but I've already kind of pre-planned what I'm going to do. And then I start thinking about all the good times we've had and all the good things he's had and the positive influence he's had on my life. Now, someone would sit there and say you're gloating over the dead stuff or whatever, but that's really not the point of this. By going through the scenario now, when that event does happen, you will be mentally prepared for it, and it won't hit you as hard because you've already kind of gone through that scenario in your head. It's what the military does. When we go to basic training, you're put through a lot of stuff you never had to do as a civilian, and they teach you things to prepare you for things that you may witness or see in your military career. And that's kind of a similar thing, in basic, and then in combat arms, MOSs, in AIT and whatever. They're basically teaching you how to kill people, and they're teaching you kind of how to feel about it, so that when it does happen, it's still going to affect you, but it's not going to affect you as bad. And so the other thing I want to say is that you should practice negative visualization. Go through your life and say, okay, if I have no power and no water, what am I going to do? And then you work through it now while you have food and water and electricity, and you say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. And you know what? Maybe it's not so bad. I don't have an electric bill. I don't have a water bill. Yeah, I have to go get my own water, but you know what? I'm getting better water. And you go through that visualization, and that way when it really does happen, that you'll be prepared for it mentally. And that's important, because the brain drives the body. And if the brain feels bad, more than likely the body's going to feel bad, because it's going to manifest itself in other ways throughout your body. But by giving yourself the opportunity to, we'll say, witness it in your head, bad things, and then working through those bad things, and then realizing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not a train, that when that stuff actually happens, you'll feel better. So I hope this helps. It's not a typical prepper topic, but I think it's important, because you don't want to start your journey tired, okay? And being tired up here is every bit as bad as being tired in your body. So like I said, everybody, chill out, seek tranquility, look for the good in things, and prepare. And don't worry about things you can't control, because you can't control them. But worry about the things you can control, and then make your slow, steady progress into alleviating that particular situation. If you do that, you'll be a happier person. I promise you, you'll be happy. Your wife will be happy. Your dogs will be happy. Your kids will be happy, because you're seeking that tranquility, and that'll manifest itself throughout your family. So that's all I got for everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is, returning back to even a higher level of normalcy, however you want to say it. But I hope the best for you. May God bless you all. Everybody stay safe and stay secure. And we'll see you out there.